Ooh, new version of OBS grays out the channels that are currently muted. That's interesting. Or I just never noticed that before. Okay. Wasn't sure that I'd actually loaded the game. Alright, Dad Rad seems well. We have a battle today. Oh, that's right. Tanked his loyalty. What did I do to his loyalty? I don't remember. I think I just made him fight while he was tired or something. Pretty classic stuff. Check, check. Ooh, that's a little low. Check, check, check. That's better. Yeah, get out of here, Boran. Ooh, Quarty. I don't know if we've seen Quarty yet. If I recall correctly, Quarty can be kind of tough to hit. Like it has a high speed stat. It's a Suezo Pixie. Yeah, Suezo Pixie. Gosh, auto captioning is trying its best to understand the word Suezo. It's doing Swizzo. Oh, it got Suezo that time. Now it went back to Swizzo. Oh yeah, it's got high speed, so it can be kind of hard to hit, but that's why we got... It doesn't have a lot of hit points though, so we only need to hit it once. Hey, knock it off. No, not that one. That one's gonna have a hard time hitting. Holy flash. Like I said, I just gotta hit it once. I'll be fine. Problem is these Suezo moves often drain mana. Oh, confused! Oh, that 78 loyalty is coming back to bite me. There we go. Jeez. Oh, actually I thought it would kill it in one hit. How embarrassing. Embarrassing me, Dad Rad. Don't get licked. Oops, totally unsanitary. Hey, what's up, Gerd? Oh, that's not the move I wanted to use. This is gonna win. It's just such a scruddy victory. Bleh. Whatever, it's fine. That thing is hard to hit. We're going to be leveling up our skill and our intellect a lot. So, things like that won't happen. Gorogon, on the other hand, is quite easy to hit. Hard to do damage to, though, because he has such high defense. He's not likely to hit me, but when he does, it hurts. Yeah, 291 power. Whew. Oh, but Holy Flash is at 98. What's God Anger at? Let's just try and hit it with a God Anger. Well, actually, I was trying to do a God Anger again, but I suppose 2 Holy Flashes will do the trick. Oh, come on! Don't give... Wow. This is not the guy you want to get confused against. Really? This is embarrassing. Come on. Embarrassing me. Unbelievable. Dad Rad. Get it together, man. Okay, thank you. That was not a great showing. A little out of practice, a little rusty. How's life, Gerd? Yeah, I want a CD fragment. Did I say, do I have 21,000 gold? Where did I get all that? Oh, that's right. I got gold and sold it. What's up, JDP? Thanks for the raid. Hello, raiders. My name's Weekly Dad Rad. I take care of kids, I play old video games, and I make stuff out of yarn. Today we are playing more Monster Rancher. And I made a new blanket out of yarn. Thanks. Thanks, JDP. Feeling pretty good. Got a lot of work done today. Even made some TikToks for the shop. TikToks for the shop? What's the shop? And what are the TikToks? Tell me all about it. Okay, so let's see. August, September. So we can go train for September. We got to be back in October for Reno. So what's today? So we can just rest today. That's fine. Let's go sell that. We're gonna sell that CD fragment. What were you up to today, Justin? I don't remember if that was today I was lurking in your stream or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Yesterday you were doing La Mulana. Were you doing more La Mulana today? Look at that number. Look at how much gold I have. 22220. Next week is the Tuesday. Oh, you completed the DLC today. Oh, okay, cool. I'm sure you've all seen the Tuesday tweet that 2/22/2022 is on a Tuesday. It's actually my sister-in-law's birthday, too. And then got to what I'm assuming is the final dungeon of Grandia 2. Careful. Careful. I assumed that the last 45 levels of Echo the Dolphin were the last level. That game. Oh. Okay, so we can do... Yeah, we don't care about the official tournament. We're not doing that. Ugh. 88 loyalty is a little lower than I like to go to training, but he's mastered all the courses, so he should probably be fine anyway. And when he gets back, he's going to get back on the first and be exhausted. And then we're going to rest and then go on an expedition to Reno the very next day. Okay, let's see. What do we... Oh, they're both equal. So, all things being equal, I think I'm going to train skill first. It's fine. I don't care about the Fimba tournament. I mean, I'd rather hit than do damage, right? Like, than do damage and maybe not hit. I mean, it's telling me to go into a secret basement to stop an evil death demon from absorbing me. So it seems about the end. It's fair. Seems like a sound assessment. My mom owns a metaphysical shop called Choices Unlimited, and I make TikToks for it for fun while I'm there. Mostly just metaphysical stuff about rocks, but there are a couple showing off some nicer pieces we have. Rocks, like metaphysical, like crystals and stuff like that. I love cool rocks and stuff. In fact, my kid got me a rock shirt for Christmas, because I like rocks. And in fact, one of the kids we take care of, he's been reading this like science book about rocks, and he's like, well, have you heard of this one? And I'm like, yeah. And then I'll list off like 5 things about it, and he's always like, dang, how do you know so much about rocks? I'm like, because that's the exact kind of book I read when I was your age. Here, check this out too. I don't know if I've shown you this before, but let me grab it real quick. That's pretty funny that you just asked that, Gerd. Because if we're counting gemstones, then this is my favorite. This is an ametrine that my kid got me for Christmas. For those who don't know, amethyst and citrine are actually the same gem. Citrine is just orange, whoops, and amethyst is purple. They're the same thing, just exposed to different levels of heat. So when you get a single gem that's exposed to 2 different levels of heat, you get a gem that is orange and purple. Mine's a little pinker, but yeah, it's an ametrine. And I think it is just the coolest. I got that for Christmas this year. And anytime I go anywhere, I'm always checking out their, is that a nice one? It's a really big one. It's almost like a sun catcher. It's so big. It's the biggest ametrine I ever saw. I think it's so cool looking. I almost want to like hang it in a window to catch light. It is big and extraordinarily clear. It's not the deepest of purples. I've seen them with darker purples. Like you can tell, it's pretty pink. But yeah, will that change its color if I do that? Will that mess it up? That'd be so sad if that happened. As you probably now know, obviously rock lobster. They both fade in direct sunlight. See, as you can tell, I like rocks, but I'm a hobbyist, not an expert. Thanks for the tip there, Kurt. I do like it. I actually have a little collection of gems too for all the kids that we've had. I've always liked gems. I mean, I'm big into gems. I always wanted to have a wedding ring that had a gem in it, and I had a star sapphire in my ring for a while, but then the star sapphire fell out. Star sapphire is one of my favorite gems. I think they're so cool. And so I have a little collection of gemstones. Sarah gets me one every time we take a new placement, so basically for all the kids that we've had or taken care of, I have a gemstone, and we're up to 11. I have 11 gemstones so far. We just get one of their birthstones. So I'm still missing. What am I missing? I'm missing a March. I never got a March, and I never got a November. I don't think I got an October either. Not yet, JDP. We need to stop getting kids. and I can seal off the collection, and then, yeah. Then I can make the gauntlet. I don't know how many settings I need yet. Can't stop taking in these kids. Is that what it is? Pink tourmaline? Would that be November or would that be October? I don't know which months are. Oh, it's October. I kind of know the months I have, and I know that a couple of them children were inevitable. I know that like a lot of them have alternates. You know, like we just got an April, and I mean like April is diamond traditionally, but. I got a white topaz instead. Which, admittedly, a white topaz doesn't have quite the shine and the cool soundingness of a diamond, but it's got a cooler name, like white topaz. Sounds cool. And it was way cheaper. Them De Beers folks did not mess around with the price of diamonds. Okay, let's see. So we're at Reno here. We're after the Golden Peach and the Wind Drum, if we can get it. So this is the desert ruins. The Gold Peach is like the plant egg, but better. I think a plant egg adds 2 years to your monster's life. The Golden Peach adds like 5 years. So we're going to go straight and then right. Then we're going to go left, and then right. Oh, secret tunnel. Okay. Oh yeah. Are there gems assigned to the zodiacs? I didn't know that. Are they different from the birthstones? I also really like opal. Opal's one of my cooler gems. Oh, every stone is associated with one sign or another. Oh, okay. Would it make as powerful an infinity gauntlet though? Oh, we gotta get past this. I don't know if this is a skill or a power or an intelligence one, but whatever. It was probably high intelligence if it if it went like that. There's actually a secret path there, but I'm not smart enough to spot it, apparently. But that's okay, because the building I'm going to search for is right here. And let's hope we don't get lost 10,000 times, because that might happen. Opal is beautiful. I want to have an Australian rainbow opal in my wedding band. Oh, cool. I don't know exactly what an Australian rainbow opal looks like, but it sounds awesome. I do like opal. Here, let me show you my wedding ring. I'm not wearing my wedding ring right now, but I'm going to go grab it. Looks like a rainbow. Yeah. Go get. Oh, cool. Thanks, Gerd. Go grab me one of them Australian opals, rainbow opals. There, JDP. Show off all my little treasures. Here's my 4-leaf clover. It's just in glass. That's not like some special rock. And then this is my wedding ring. It might be hard to really like fully appreciate. It's cobalt with California redwood on the inside. And then it has like little windows there where you can see the wood through it. So it's, you know, it's not really showing up really great on camera, but not only does it like look cool, it feels really comfortable. Like wood on my finger. This is the most comfortable wedding ring I've ever had. And I've had like 4 wedding rings. I keep breaking them or losing them. But my wife got this for me because I'm from California. So she's like, well, now you can carry a little piece of home with you wherever you go. And I just thought it was the coolest ring ever. Some titanium rings similar to that with the wood inlay. It's pretty cool. They don't allow you near the precious gems. The Australian Precious Gems Repository. Lost on the first try. We hesitated too long. I waited too long, and Dad Rad got nervous and immediately got lost. What a dope. It can happen. My first ring was titanium. And actually, that one still exists. Like, I didn't break that one. I didn't break titanium. I did lose it for a couple years and then found it when we moved. And it had like an etching on the inside. That was just the first one my wife got me when we got married. A few years later, she replaced it with the Star Sapphire one, which was in white gold, I believe. White gold setting with a blue Star Sapphire. But at some point, the Star Sapphire fell out. I lost it. So she still has the setting. Like the set, she keeps all my old rings. She also got me a resin ring that had flowers in it or something like that. And that thing broke. I broke that like 2 days after I put it on. It was like, oh, that one's gone. So now I've got the cobalt, and the cobalt's holding up pretty good. I've had that one for a few years, and it's my favorite. And if I broke this one, I would want an exact replacement of it. I love this one. That resin ring didn't stand a chance. Sarah, a couple years ago, got herself a ring that had, I want to say it was lapis lazuli, meteorite, and gembone in it, which was cool. Like, all very cool stones, but the thing was so thick. It was like a really thick ring, so she doesn't really wear it. But gembone is like it's like jewel quality fossils or something. I don't know when gembone came into existence. When she told me about it, I was like, I have never heard of that. That sounds like someone just made it up so they could sell some junk fossils that were too small or useless to be in museums. And that's still my operating theory, just because I haven't proven it wrong yet. Some museum, just was like, we have too many fossils already. We don't need these. Get rid of these. Throw them out. What are we going to do? I don't know. Tell jewelers that they're precious and rare. This is a piece of a doll. It's like a quest item to build the robot monster. I don't really care about building the robot monster now. I definitely will build it later, but right now I'm not interested in robot parts. They're not really even robot parts. You don't build a robot, you build a little clay doll. It's like a little doll. And then you use it when you breed other monsters together. And then the breeding results in a robot. Dad rad. I need to figure out how to get a purple metal ring with a setting in it. Like, the metal is purple. I don't even know how to change the color of metal. I mean, I guess it can be done. Like, I'm not really a metallurgist, but I've seen different colors of metal. You need a jeweler then. Is what you need. Does it matter what kind of metal it is? There's gotta be somebody on Etsy who will make you a purple metal ring with a setting in it. I bet you could find 10 on Etsy in 10 minutes. I'm not saying they'll be any good, or that they'll be reasonably priced, but I think you usually heat treat metal to make it purple. Oh, okay. Oh, really? Nobody on Etsy? Huh? Okay. So just certain metals or certain alloys, when exposed to some heat, will come out purple, huh? That'd be pretty cool. It'd be pretty rad. I mean, I've heard of like steel being kind of bluish, right? Like you can have blue steel when you heat treat it. Or maybe I'm just thinking of the face he makes in Zoolander called Blue Steel. Well, time to start becoming a metallurgist then. If it's not on Etsy, you gotta do it yourself. I was having a weirdly hard time today finding oh yeah, that's cool. The yarn I wanted. I went to Joann today looking for some sock yarn. They didn't have any. They didn't have size 2 yarn. They had size 1, they had size 3. They had a ton of size 4 and no size 2. So I was like, well, how do I make socks then? Where do I get sock yarn? So now I got to go find sock yarn on the internet. Oh. We'll see how it goes. Because Melly there, she finished her second beanie quest, and I told her since it was her second, she didn't have to have a beanie. She could have something else. What up, Dark? I saw you were playing more Iserbius today. I was actually, Dark, I was like this close to clicking on your channel. I was like, oh, there's Dark. But then my brother was streaming, and he's like never streaming. So I was like, oh, sorry, Dark. Gonna go watch my bro. But I did see that you were playing Tales of Iserbius, and I was all excited to come ask you about it because that game looks awesome. What's up, Zero Counts? Dark Mod Raid? Do you just call him Dark Mod wherever he goes? A new world record! New world record! GG Dark. Way to go. Come on. We're Monster Rancher in today. We're desperately trying to find ourselves a golden peach and a wind drum. What? Pokemon Red Rando? What's a what's how do you rando Pokemon? Did I say hi, Zero? I think I said hi, Zero. Hi, Zero. Sweet staff, bro. I caught a Gengar. Evolved my Totodile. So, do they evolve into normal things? Or did your Gengar evolve into a Totodile? Hey, what's up, Spiffy? That's your starter, Mr. Mime. Actually, this is kind of sounding awesome there, Dark. They evolve into normal things? Are you going to be able to catch a victory bell? What's the Ivy? What's the first form of named burps, no less? What's that thing called that you like? Bellsprout. Thank you. Yeah, I can never remember the Bellsprout. Good luck. I mean, I hope you find Psyducks first, but Gosh, we're just getting garbage. So we're not getting lost. That's, I guess, good. Oh, Dark Armistice started the Beanie Quest. Good luck on your quest, sir. Actually, today you can check it with our new command quest. It's not a new command. It's just a new trigger keyword that makes an old command go because Melly kept putting in quest instead of progress. And Melly is not going to change for anyone. I don't even have enough time left to get both of them. I got just a bunch of stinking robot arms. I don't want those. Save scum. I'm doing pretty good, Spiffy. I've been showing off my treasures. How are you doing? You want to see my treasures? I was showing off. Gerd here asked me my favorite rock, and I told him this is my favorite rock. This is an ametrine. It's half amethyst, half citrine. I also have my little 4-leaf clover. Everybody. Yeah, rock flex. Thank you for the add a jam redemption, Dark. We'll get right on that. I was just about to add 2 new songs. Now we're going to add 4 new songs. Every time... Oh my gosh. Did you like save up all the points and then start the Beanie Quest? Dark Artist. I always add 2 songs at a time. So I add your song, and then I take another song from the same year that... So in this case, you added one that has male vocalists. I will add a song with a female vocalist from the same year. So I always add 2 at a time. So it takes me twice as long to add as it should. All right. Okay. Spiffy. Here, I'll show you. We have... This is the list of commands. That one there that says jam, that's my jam command. Or my sing command. If you use that, it picks a song off of a list of like 114 songs I've got that are basically 80s and 90s jams. Songs that like would have been playing on the radio when I played these games. And then I just sing some of it on the stream. That's it. That's all that command does. Once every 5 minutes, you can make me sing. And jam adds, add a jam adds your song to the list. So, in a few weeks, whenever I add that, when you type / or exclamation point jam, you'll have like a 1 in 116 chance of hearing me sing Backstreet Boys Everybody. Okay, dude, let me tell your jokes. All right, Dark, let's do your jokes, then we'll get your rad dog, all right? This guy just tearing through these quests. I think Dark Armist is over leveled. I think, you know what I mean? He did a bunch of grinding and now he's just blazing through the main game. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know enough to sing like a verse and a chorus. I'm not saying I know the words to all the songs, but yes, my brain has a lot of songs in it. Okay, Dark. Why did the candle get a round of applause? Only the early quests, yeah, and then you get the big quests coming up. Time to do some more grinding. I actually originally wanted to name my channel points side quests, but Sarah wouldn't let me. She's like, that's dumb. That doesn't fit your brand. You can't do that. And she made a more cogent point than that. But there are times when I'm like, side quests would have been a cool name for channel points. And she's like, but you're not doing anything. You don't complete them. You don't collect side quests. I'm like, depends on the game you're playing. Why did the candle get a round of applause? I didn't even think of an answer, so. It was sensational. It was sensational. That's not terrible. That's, for a Laffy Taffy joke, that's not as bad as we've had. That's for sure. She's not playing Zero. She does not mess around. She was very serious from the beginning. All right. What can you catch but not throw? I feel like we've had this one before. So you know another. See, I'm not the first person to have that idea. A side quest Sean. Well, see, that is on brand. And you know, if his name's Side Quest Sean and has side quests, and then I have side quests, it would feel a little. Okay. What can you catch but not throw? These days you get 2 jokes, because I'm reading them off of Laffy Taffies. Yeah, what can you catch but not throw? Your breath. I was going to say a cold, but yeah, same thing. Thanks for the redemption there, Dark. Let me go get your rad dog. Enjoy the soothing tunes of the opening demo of Monster Rancher here. Be right back. Okay, come on, Red Dog. You're coming all the way up? Oh, her back is a little achy today. I had to give her a little. Come on. No, that's not what this is for. No. No, I love you. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, okay, fine. I don't even believe that cry was real. Ugh. Oh man, Spiffy, you don't know Monster Rancher? This game is so cool. Alright, well this is Mac. This is the Rad Dog, the Dark Summon. Mac is short for Macchiato. In this game, you can breed monsters by smashing 2 monsters together. Or, the cool way that you made monsters in this game, because this was a PlayStation game, was you used your CD collection. You go to this place called the Shrine in the city, in the town, and yeah, you put the... Oh, this is the old school one. This is on... I'm playing this on PlayStation. I don't have the... This isn't the Switch one. No, this is this biz right here. I got the monster that you're seeing me get lost in the desert a bunch over and over. I made from a ViewSonic Monitors Drivers CD that I still have for a computer that I don't have anymore, or for a monitor I don't have anymore. This dog is just brushing my teeth. No. That's enough. Yourself. No. God, she only does this on stream. She has figured out that I'm vulnerable or something, or that I won't push her away, and if I turned the stream off, she'd stop licking me. Any 9-inch nails? I don't know if I have any 9-inch nails. But I do have ViewSonic drivers. Okay. This little doggo has some IDD, this intervertebral disc disease, so sometimes her back gets swollen and it hurts her. So I gave her a little extra medicine today. Hopefully that helps. All right. Are you done? Come on, are you done? Okay. Blah. But yeah, here, I'll show you the CD I used. Because I got my CD collection here. Because I never in my life have thrown away a CD. Here's my StarCraft CD from when I was a kid. Warcraft 3. I don't remember what monsters those give me, but I have it written down in my spreadsheet. This right here was the CD that I used to get my my galley that I'm fighting with right now. The ViewSonic Wizard User Guide and Installation Software for the Q20WB LCD display. Yeah, this was a computer monitor that I bought in 2007. I don't have the monitor anymore, but I never threw away the CD. And a good thing too, because then when I started running them all through Monster Rancher, popped out with a purebred galley. So, oh yeah, that's the stuff. If I recall, I have not played the re-release on Switch, Spiffy, but I think I've glanced at a few articles. I think it's got a thing where you go to the shrine and then you can browse through CDs, just lists of CDs, an entire encyclopedia of CDs, and then you just pick one and you throw it in and it simulates being thrown in. which is also what I do for my special monsters here, because, yeah, there's like a big database, and you just kind of flip through it, and you're like, ooh, I want to put in, No Doubt, or 9 Inch Nails, whatever, and it just simulates it, because it doesn't really, like, read the whole CD. What the game does is just read the table of contents data on the CD, and from there, that's pretty much unique for a CD, the table of contents data. So you have, like, special CDs, right? Like, if I had the Hanson Middle of Nowhere CD, that would give me the Sleeves monster. What I have here is a simulation. This is not actually the Hanson CD. This won't play music if I stick it in a CD player, but it does have table of contents data that mimics the Hanson Middle of Nowhere CD. So if I put this in, I will get that rare monster. Yeah. Bop. I'm still pretty sure I've never actually heard the song Bop. Like, I know of the song Bop, and I know Bop, dibba-da-ba-doo. Can't get a Bellsprout. You can get plants, though. The plant kind of looks like a Bellsprout. But I don't think I've ever, like, actually heard the whole song of Bop. And now it's, like, too late. When will I hear it? Alright, let's try this. Let's try this again. We're trying to get a gold peach and a wind drum. Honestly, I don't know if I'm, like, sharp enough to do it. It kind of... The plant monster in this game kind of looks like a mix between an Audition and Bellsprout. Because it's, like, thick on bottom, but then it's got, like, three little plant things sticking out the top. So, what is the world record for Tales of Esurbius? How long does that game take? Because it doesn't look like a fast game. It looks like a old school, like, dungeon crawler. What? No more eShop purchases on the 3DS? Oh, sad. That's so sad. Oh, man. I mean... You know what's funny, Dark, is like, so I got a 3DS somewhere around here. And I bought the 3DS. Normal, many hours. I cannot go on. I bought the 3DS to play Virtual Console games. I didn't plan on buying any DS games for it. It was not my intention. My daughters had DSs, so I was like, I guess I could play like some of their DS games if I ever want to. But I bought it for Virtual Console because I was like, I want to play Link's Awakening, I want to play Picross, I want to play Super Metroid, you know? And so I like bought the 3DS. It's great. I love the thing. I downloaded a few games, but like... Cheese it! Robot House. But the 3DS, instead of like sating my desire to play old games, made me need to own consoles instead. So then I went and bought a Nintendo and a Genesis and a Super Nintendo. Now I have an entire collection of consoles because so then I stopped playing the 3DS pretty much altogether. Yeah. Well, I mean, now I've got my Mega Game Boy. I don't know if you saw in Zero's channel, I bought a Game Boy Advance and basically replaced every part of it except for the PCB. And I haven't posted any pictures of the new one because I haven't stopped playing it long enough to take a picture of it. It's so good. I was playing Dragon Warrior Monsters on it today while I was waiting one of my kids do his therapy. Some guy walked in and was like, what is that? I'm like, it's a Game Boy. It's like, is that like a DS? I'm like, yeah, it's like a DS. Direct payments on the Wii U went away in January, so the writing was already... Oh, okay. So you can only, what, use the money you got left in your wallet, or do you have to spend Nintendo bucks, or... Hey, fool, did it cool down yet at all down there? 90 degrees down there. The baby wipes in my car froze the other day. It's still so cold up here. You can add money to your account on the Switch or Nintendo.com. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought I kind of knew that because, like, there was something I wanted on my 3DS, and I ended up putting money on it on the Switch for some. I don't remember. Ooh, rained out. I loved when it rained, man. Rainy days were my favorite days when I was a kid. Well, thanks, Spiffy. I mean, technically it's an underlay, but yeah, thanks. I put a lot of work into it, so I'm glad you like it. Yeah, exactly. We didn't get a lot of rain in LA, so rainy days were special days. I am actually working on expanding the background right now. All those little sprites flying by. I got a million games I gotta add into the thing, but it takes a while to do it. Those ones aren't the games I've completed on stream. The ones floating in the background, those are games mostly that I've played, some that I wanted to play. The ones down there at the bottom of the chat, those little flashing slides, those are the ones we had beaten on stream. Like that's the Boss of Bonk's adventure there. It's cool. And I just finished a new blanket, as you can see here. Well, actually, I finished this blanket a couple weeks ago. This is my new, and it's to match the colors of all them sprites back there. I got my little purple, yellow, and green theme going on. So I made this blanket specifically for this. This is the blanket we were like, is it a blanket if it's not a blanket? If you just hang it up on a wall, is it still called a blanket? And I actually hung it up on the screen like 2 weeks ago, but the way I hung it up, I hated it. I was like miserable with it. It took me forever to hang it up, and I hated it when it was done. It made me all crabby. So I took it off, and then I postponed it for a couple weeks because I was like frustrated at how much work I'd put into something I hated the last time. Gosh, dude, this guy just keeps getting lost. So this time it turned out much better. I like it a lot better. I think it looks swell. How does Sarah feel about that background? She picked the colors. I actually was very nervous, like when she was going over to, like Tukwila or wherever anyway, and I was like, hey, while you're there, you want to hit up the Michaels or the Joanne and grab me some yarn? And I was very nervous. I was like, I don't know if she knows how to pick yarn, but then she brought these 3 yarns home, and I'm like, oh my gosh, those are perfect. I love these colors so much. They're great. Oh yeah, we live outside of Seattle. We've been living in Seattle for 11 years now. My wife's from here. Oh, you're in Olympia? Right on. We're all neighbors, man. That's cool. I saw a tweet once that was like, or a Tumblr or whatever. It was like speculating. It was like, do you think that like Michael and Joanne were like a couple and they were gonna start a craft store together, but then they got divorced and now they're in a competition and trying to put each other out of business? And the first reply was, welcome to the world of Warcraft. What part of Oregon? I have a buddy who lives down in Vancouver, and I have 2 buddies. One used to live in Portland, one still lives right outside Portland. So I used to go down there. It has to be true. It's too good not to be. Oh, a Central. Oh, a Bend. Okay. We were down in Oregon a few years ago for my buddy's wedding. I forget what that place was called, though. Some lake. It's really pretty. It was funny, though, because it was like in April or something, like when the weather should have been pretty good, but it snowed like bananas. It snowed so much, and there were people who came from like the East Coast, and all they brought was like sandals, walking around in the snow in their sandals. We were not ready for. I can't remember the name of that lake. What was the name of that lake? I have to look it up or find it. It wasn't Crater Lake, I know that much, because I really want to see Crater Lake. I've never been to Crater Lake, but it was like too far away to zip out to it. I was like, ooh, while we're down there, we should go to Crater Lake. But Crater Lake was like 3 hours away from where we were or something like that. What was the name of that lake? Let me see if I can find out what the name of that lake was. Good night, Dark. Thanks for the raid. Thanks for all the redemptions. Good luck on your beanie quest. Stick around long enough, it'll happen. We had someone complete it last week for the second time. Melly Boats has completed her second beanie quest, and for her second beanie, she didn't even want a beanie, she wants socks. I'm making her some socks. Let me text my buddy what the name of that lake was. Gonna make some Dragon Warrior slime socks. So I have to learn how to make socks. I don't know how to make socks, but I promised her I'd learn so that I could make her socks. Dang it. Half the place was closed for snow in September. I was always fascinated by the idea of Crater Lake. I thought it was just a cool lake. Even before I lived in Washington, I'd heard of Crater Lake and thought it was cool. I grew up in Los Angeles. Then I joined the Marine Corps and went all over the place. Went to Florida and Washington, North Carolina, and Japan. That's where I met my wife. We were both stationed in Japan. I got out, she stayed in. We went to California for a little bit, and then she got out. We moved up here because where her family was and where the school she wanted to go to was, and I didn't mind. So 11 years later, still here. Bought a house, sticking around for a while now. Sometimes I miss LA. Like when I see it on TV, like when I was watching the Super Bowl, and they would show like the Griffith Observatory or something like that. And I'm like, ooh, the Griffith Observatory. And Sarah's like, you always point out the Griffith Observatory anytime it's in anything. I'm like, if we lived in LA and you saw the Space Needle, you'd say, hey, the Space Needle. All right, let's go. Windrum Gold Peach. Not messing around. Not this junk. Junk. There she is. What's up, Melissa? I went to try and shop for yarn today for your socks, but I couldn't find the right size of yarn, so I gotta get on. I am Bender, please insert girder. There you go. There's the jam command spiffy. Hey, Brandon. Enjoy your lurk. Alright, so when we get the jam command, we push the jam button, we get the reverb and the sparkles. Ooh. And what was the song? Oh, it's Wonderwall. Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Backbeat, the word is on the street that the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you heard it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads we have to walk are winding, and all the lights that lead us there are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. Oh, he messed it up. Because maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. We lost 4 days over that. And after all, you're my wonder wall. Woo! Thank you, thank you. Thanks for the jam, foo. Playing. Oh yeah. Oh, you got that new game there? Thanks, Foo. Thank you. You know, Sarah asked me the other day, "Are you ever gonna stop singing Wonderwall?" And I said, maybe. You get that one for free. Actually, I kind of told that wrong. You gotta say, and I said, maybe. Always Liam. I don't generally sing that nasally. I mean, I can. Sure could. Just generally don't. I was, I sang in the choir, so you had to sing so your voice carried. You had to push it from down underneath. I mean, I generally do end up like a touch more nasally than I would sing, just because I'm sitting down and half bent over, but whatever. That's what the reverb's there for. The reverb's there to make it sound like I know what I'm doing. That's why I hit things with sticks. You a drummer? While I was singing that, I was thinking about playing the rock band drums. Oh man, I love playing drums. I'm not good at drums. Like, I play like 8 instruments poorly. I play the microphone. That's the only thing I want to do. So I play all these other instruments just well enough to sing along to. I don't develop my skill with them any further than that. Not that I like drum and sing, but I do like drumming. I gave away my drum set though when we moved to this house. It was a smaller house, so I gave away my drum set. I had that thing for a decade though. Nice. Back up to mediocre. Awesome. Sweet. Anyway. When my daughter gets into Caltech, we'll jam. I'll bring my guitar. Actually, my brothers are still down there. I got both of them play guitar and bass, and one of them does percussion. He doesn't really play a full drum set, but he's always messing around with some congas or he likes to use his cajon. He does his cajon a lot. My other brother will play guitar and sing, but they're always trying to get me to sing with them because my older brother is not a very good singer. He wants to be a good singer, but he's not a very good singer, and that's by his own admission. Right? That's what we need. We need an overconfident, mediocre drummer. I'll sing. We'll get David on bass, Eric on lead guitar, you on drums. Don't worry, you don't got to be a good drummer. You just got to be better than us, which won't be hard. And then we'll think you're good. So I tell people, they're like, "Are you any good on guitar?" I'm like, if I'm better than you, I'm good. Dude, will you stop getting lost? I'm about to abandon this expedition and just move on with my life without the wind drum and the gold peach. Like, I wonder if I could just beat the game without the gold peach and the wind drum. This is ridiculous. Or maybe just try again next year. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We'll just try again next year. Next year, my skill and my intelligence will be higher. I'll do this next year. No sweat. So let's send this boy to training instead. And in this game, we don't rest monsters when they're tired. We give them taffy and mints. It's not animal abuse. Because it's not an animal. It's like a sentient creature. Well, I guess animals are sentient. It's a sapient creature. But whatever. It wants to be here, clearly. Yeah, my daughter said she wants to go to Caltech and work for JPL. I'm like, cool. Sounds cool. Says she wants to build robots that explore other planets and stuff. Okay, we're gonna keep going on skill until it crosses a level threshold, which is every 50 points. So it should do that. I would have liked to have had that wind drum. The wind drum just kind of improves all your results from training and working. So like instead of 8 points there, I would have got like 10 points. So it's really great. But if I can't find it, like, whatever, it's no big deal. Oh yeah, I used to know a guy who worked at JPL. I don't remember I don't know what he did there. He was like my friend's older brother. So he and I weren't really close, but like I found out like, oh, Aaron works at JPL, that's cool. Okay, good. He didn't get lost. Meat. We don't have time to be tired, bro. No, we're not resting. We don't rest. We train. In fact, I'm going to buy double taffies and double mints so I can go to the shop less often. Enjoy your lurk there, Melly. Didn't want to use the lurk command, just use the lurk emote. I guess I could make the lurk emote trigger the lurk command. So that you get your little Radroid response. Enjoy your new MMO. I forget what it's called, but yeah, they're excited about their new MMO. And then I told them, like, hey, stream it when you play it so that I can watch. But now here I am streaming. So I can't watch. I mean, I guess I could. I could do the Showerhead Fairy. Showerhead Fairy used to always hang out in my stream while streaming. Like, how do you do that? I can barely concentrate on my game and chat. And you're doing it double? Bananas. Well, more like radishes. I'm sure that's what he was here for. He's here for the radishes. And that's here for them channel points, man. He was on the Beanie Quest. And then he kind of disappeared. Did the Bug Doctor. I guess Bug Doctor, no, not even Bug Doctor, because Bug Doctor just stopped streaming, but he's still around. He's still hanging around and trolling people. Grinding out a sick PD. His ears were burning! What's up, Showerhead Fairy? You hear me talking about you? What's going on, man? He didn't disappear. He's back to work on his beanie. What's going on? How you been? You should be in bed. He's late over there. That's cool, man. This is actually, this tell a joke thing, this was Showerhead's doing. He insisted this. Are you streaming right now, Shower? He invented the tell a joke on stream. All right, Shower. What do you call a picture of a bookcase? What do you call a picture of a bookcase? I bet it has shelf in the title. Ooh, do you think it's a shelfie? A shelfie? That's pretty good for a Laffy Taffy. I bet it's worse than that. I bet shelfie is my better answer. Oh, whoops, I was supposed to switch to shelf portrait. That'll work too, yeah. Shelf portrait's actually better than shelfie, Zero. And man, now we're gonna have two answers that are better than the actual one on the thing. I was supposed to go to intelligence training. It's not a big deal, but oops. Let's see what the answer is. Oh, it's a shelfie. All right, so that we have one better answer and then one equivalent answer. Good job, Zero. So shelf portrait is better than shelfie. All right. All right, here's your other one, Shower. What did the parking lot say to the garage? What did the parking lot say to the garage? Of course, nothing better than seeing a cool streamer while having a crazy night full of coffee. What's going on, Omega? Crazy night full of coffee. I love coffee. Good. How are you? Be careful. That's actually not bad. Be careful. Right. That might be the most successful Laffy Taffy we've ever read on stream. Be careful. Get it? Because it's full of cars. It's not bad. It's not bad as Laffy Taffy jokes go. Gosh, if you heard some of the Laffy Taffies we have read on stream, those are like A tier in comparison. Y'all wired up, shrimp? Why are you drinking so much coffee? You trying to stay up late? You working the graveyard shift? Don't have any. Oops. She's getting mad at me again. Be careful. There's a very small used car lot near my house called Wisconsin. It's terrible. That's not even the commitment though. The just actual full commitment to it sells it, makes it work. Shouldn't work, but it totally does. I knew that. I knew where you lived. I know where you live. Oh wait, actually, at 400 we wanted to go to rank B. So let's go to rank B this month. I mean, like, I don't know your address off the top of my head, but I could go get it if I wanted to. Okay, we're done with that. We're done with that. Let's go ahead and knock our skill up to 500 real quick. Rank B, rank BB, BB. Whoop, after the 14th of February, a little bit of sadness here, some reflexing there. I'm not feeling the best, and I stay only awake. Oh, because you're Batman. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, then I'm glad you're drinking all that coffee, because, you know, you don't want to be sleeping on all them mad criminals. Poor Batman. Got all the wacky criminals. Gosh, we almost have enough skill and intelligence to go to rank A, honestly. Let's go work in the field for a little bit. Wisconsin. I've been watching, so I finally finished Deep Space Nine, Foo. It only took me 9 years to finish it, but I did finish watching Deep Space Nine. And so I started watching Stargate, because I already watched Voyager and TNG. I always start with Voyager, then I do TNG, then I reluctantly watch DS9. And it was funny, actually, so I finished DS9, and then I started Stargate SG-1, and like 5 episodes into SG-1, there's Armin Shimmerman, just right there. I was like, oh, hey, hey, Armin Shimmerman. What's up, T-Math? How's it going? That's the raider I went and watched instead of you, Dark. I know you're gone, Dark, but... Or the streamer. How did day 1 finish out, Timmy? So it was just funny, like, to finish DS9, and then Armin Shimmerman was, like, in the 5th or 6th episode of SG-1. Anyway, I brought up SG-1 because I was telling Sarah, I was like, SG-1 has basically the most ridiculous premise of any television show ever. But because they never blink and remain fully committed, like pedal to the metal on the premise the whole show, and they never relent, it works. Omega Shrimp with... You already added a jam, Omega Shrimp. You want another one? You want Super Freak too? When did Super Freak come out? Super Freak Girl. That's what I need. I need another song stuck in my head, Shrimp. I haven't stopped singing Triste Vasia for weeks. Super Freak Girl. Gosh, this is the most jams we've ever added in this stream. Yeah. Dad Rat's tired, but we don't care. We're gonna battle him anyway. No. Okay, so Shrimp, let me run this through again. Okay, so I don't just sing the song for you. I'm like, if you want me to sing it for you, I'll sing it for you. Okay, but what I have here on the stream is the jam command. All right, if you type in commands, you can see all the commands. If you use the jam command there, it picks a random song out of a list of songs I've got. Okay, and then I'll sing that song. Earlier Fu used it, and I sang Wonderwall by Oasis. Your song, Triste y Vacía, is now in the list. So if you use the command, it could randomly pop up. But I mean, if you just want me to sing it for you, I'll just sing it for you. But that's what the add a jam command does, is it adds a song to the list. See? There you go. Whoa, that's funny, because that's the song that just played when you use the add a jam. All right, so then we got our song, so now we push the jam button. Did I already save it? We're going to save it again just in case. We get our sparkles. And we're going to sing Erasure. I try to discover a little something to make me sweeter. Oh, baby, refrain from breaking my heart. I'm so in love with you. I'll be forever blue. That you give me no reason why you're making me work so hard. That you give me no, that you give me no, that you give me no, that you give me no. So I hear you calling. Oh baby, please give a little respect to me. Woo. Thank you. I started that one like a little deeper, so I didn't want to go full falsetto. That was a little weird. Also, I kept feeling like I was getting clipped. I was singing a little too loud, so maybe my limiter and compressor were hitting me there. And when it does that, I feel like it flattens out the notes. It doesn't sound as good. Yeah, it kind of always. Thanks, Omega, and thanks for the jam. I love singing. I put that in there as an excuse to sing. I loved that song when I was a kid, and that like episode like sold me on Scrubs. Like, okay, I'll watch this Scrubs. I'll watch this show. They know Erasure. Loved Erasure. That one, and I loved Ola Moore and Star. Oh, Star was like the coolest. The first time I ever wore headphones in my life. It was listening to Erasure's Star on cassette tape, and I was just blown away by the concept of headphones. I'm like, I can hear this, but no one else can. This is amazing. And I was like roller skating around in the cul-de-sac in front of my house with one of those, not like a Walkman, not like a small Walkman cassette player, but you know, one of those big white ones with the handle on the top and like the little microphone attached. Like I was skating around with that in my hands and headphones on, listening to Star and Ola Moore. Missed out on the mediocre end of day one. How many more times did you die? Poor Timmy, he's trying this new challenge where he's playing this game on super hard difficulty, and the zombies and the zombie dogs are just taking it to him. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's 5-minute cooldown there, Omega. Radroid's a real gatekeeper. They're journey episodes, though. What's a journey episode? What do you mean journey episode? What's a journey episode? Like, as in, like, any way you want, that's the way you need it? Someday, love will find you. Break those chains that bind you. Only once or twice. That's not bad. Maybe I was bad luck. Maybe I saw you die like 6 times, I think. Beep, bitty, bitty, beep, bitty, beep. It was literally called My Journey. Oh, like that was the name of the episode? I don't know. I mean, I saw like Scrubs. I think we owned, like, my wife owned 3 seasons of them when we met. Well, that sounds like we met when we were already married. Like, when we were dating, she owned the first 3 seasons of Scrubs, like, on DVD. And I watched them. And I think we eventually watched them all when they came out on Netflix. Including that, like, last weird half season where they were teaching at a school and it was new characters. But I guess that was not a big hit with audiences because they didn't do more than that half season. Well, no, you weren't playing it a little more wussy. You were playing it a little more with a little more discretion. There's this streamer called Cypherin. he does like speed runs and stuff, and when he runs away from monsters, he's like, coward percent, and I'm like, it's not coward percent, it's discretion percent. He's like, ooh, I like that better, discretion percent. Yeah, that was kind of the sense I got, Foo. I generally have a hard time staying on board with a television show after 3 years, when it's clear like they told all their stories and now they're just like scraping around for sitcom stuff. I certainly don't have like fond memories of the later seasons of Scrubs. I find them to be forgettable. There was some fun, entertaining stuff in the first few seasons, though. Bye, Misha. So this will rank us out of C and we'll move up into B, which is fine. Like, as you can see, I'm kind of terrorizing this class. Yeah, that's what happens, right? They run these characters through their arcs, and then they're like, well, that's it. Now let's just put them in situations. And every show does it the same. Like, I've never really watched The Office all the way through. I haven't seen all the episodes of The Office. But I can tell, like, oops, when Sarah's watching, like, a later season one. Stop using that movie. Okay, never mind, that's fine. I can tell when Sarah's, like, watching a later season one, because I'm like, ooh, they didn't have anything for these characters to do. They're just straight sitcomming them now. The worst is when they wrap everything up and they give them all happy endings, then slap on another season, which is super awkward, because now they have to give them even happier endings, like Parks and Rec. I hate when they bring stuff back. Oh, I hate it so much. Stop bringing stuff back. Just let it lie. I must have had like 8 people tell me, like, did you hear? They're making a new Star Trek with Picard. And I like did the Picard facepalm, like, why? Don't, please. And they're like, are you gonna watch it? I'm like, not if I can help it. That sounds terrible. Oh, that's what I need. I need a 500-year-old Patrick Stewart. Come on. Just let him retire. Oh, it wasn't as bad as Parks and Rec? I mean, like, I understand why it happened. It's not like the biggest deal, but... Really? Was it? Never saw any of it. I did see a few episodes of Discovery. And weirdly enough, I didn't hate Discovery as much as everyone told me I would. I didn't, like, love it. But, I don't know. I'm pretty flexible about stuff anyway. I'm like, I'd rather this than bringing back Picard, frankly. But it was a little bit too bang boomy for me. It wasn't like, I'm not more excited by a bunch of explosions, a bunch of CGI explosions, than I am by just like a good episode of Star Trek. Yeah, it's super not TNG. Everyone always I've never seen it, but everyone always told me that I would like the Orville. You know, like, the Orville is the one you'll like. That's the one Star Trek fans like. I think I saw a few episodes of Discovery, like, on an airplane ride back from the Netherlands. I was like, ooh, Star Trek Discovery. I'm never going to buy CBS, so may as well check this out. Watched, I don't know, 4 or 5 episodes before I fell asleep. All right, we're promoted to R3. Okay. And we've got a... no, we're not. We're training, bud. We're going back to training. We've got money. We're rank B. We're just gonna keep training. When we hit 500 each, we'll go up to the next rank. We're going like running to the end of the game now. I mean, I'll try Reno again when it comes around. That's in October. But until then, we're just training and battling and getting stronger. We get up to 600 intelligence and 600 skill, we can beat the game. Yes, just give me... How many did I buy? I wanted to buy 4 of them. I think I just bought 5 of them. Michael, you goon. Yeah, let's buy some mint leaves too. A weird amount of those too. Why not? Discovery has a problem. They have some very interesting stories and arcs, but none of their characters have any chemistry with each other, and sometimes the episodes unfold and resolve at like Warp 8. Yeah, I'm not in for that. It's like ineffective storytelling, and it just wears on me. I'm like, oh, you missed the point entirely. You're so... Did you forget, like, why you were making this TV show? Did you even decide why you were making this TV show before you started making it? Or did just, like, the pressures of creating media in the modern world get to you? I mean, it is like, it's Star Trek, I guess. There's always going to be some pressure to not mess it up, because the people who love Star Trek love it so much. And you can never do it right. You can never make all the Star Trek fans happy. Good luck. So I've never seen Star Trek, and at this point, it's too much of a commitment. I do, however, enjoy the Orville, so that's my Star Trek substitute. Oh, yeah? I can't claim to be, like, Seth MacFarlane's biggest fan. I'm like, okay with them. It doesn't bother me. But I missed, like, the whole Family Guy thing. I didn't really get into Family Guy or watch Family Guy, so I missed the, like, Seth MacFarlane train. The Seth MacFar train. Yeah, ineffective is the right way to describe that, but like with any Star Trek, you gotta let the first season slide. That's true. If you gave somebody season 1 of TNG and then asked them what they thought, they'd be like, I think we're not friends anymore. But wait till you get to season 5. No, I went to the wrong training again. Michael, get it together, man. Oh, yeah. The first season of DS9 was... oof. And, like, I forget every time. I forget and, like, go back and I'm like, why does Cisco have hair? What's wrong? And then, not like that I have a problem with him having hair, but then it's like, oh, I forgot he had hair because I forgot all these episodes. What? Fool, get your heresy out of here. Voyager's my favorite one. Captain Janeway for life. Intelligence. We're gonna do intelligence. But you know what? I'm not saying you're wrong about it being a train wreck, though. Voyager was so up and down. Hey, what are you failing for? Unacceptable. You mastered that course. But the problem with Voyager, like most of the problem with Voyager, I maybe would have nixed a few of those characters from the beginning, but the writing was too inconsistent. It was like every season they just brought in a whole different set of writers, so none of these characters really established themselves and like had predictable characters. From episode to episode, it was like you never know what you're gonna get. You might get some awesome Janeway in this one, or she might turn into a salamander. Like, it's okay, fool. You take your Deep Space Nine. I don't care for Seth MacFarlane. I wasn't going to watch the show, but Derek suggested it. So I trusted if Derek would suffer him, I could. He's a lot less Seth MacFarlane issues. I liked that show Robot Chicken that he did. Although I thought that was more like Seth Green's creation. But you could have replaced everyone but Kate Mulgrew and Jerry Ryan with... Yeah, that's true. Not going to lie. Yeah, I know like Seth Green, but like Seth MacFarlane worked on the show before or something. Maybe he just did some voices on it. Yeah, Kate Mulgrew, oh, so good. And yeah, Jerry Ryan was awesome. I was so glad when they got rid of Kes. So glad. I don't even care if they didn't bring in 7 and 9. I'm like, getting rid of Kes is good enough for me. And I read an article not too long ago that said they actually weren't going to get rid of Kes. They were going to get rid of Harry Kim. But then the actor who played Harry Kim was listed in People's Magazine's 50 Sexiest People Alive. And so they got rid of Kes instead. Because they couldn't get rid of him now. He was one of the 50 sexiest people on the planet. Why do I keep saying 50th? That's not a word. I keep making up words. Yeah, I know. Like, I agree. I'm not a Neelix fan. My favorite episode with Neelix in it was actually the Tuvix episode, and that episode has just the worst ending. That was like an episode that could have been good, but it was so disappointing because it was one of those ones where Captain Janeway sort of just stops being like an ethical commander and just... She occasionally does that. She occasionally just like totally violates the Prime Directive or does something totally unethical, fires Chakotay for no reason. The Warp 10 episode. You heard me say salamander, right? Oh, she was a pain to work with, huh? Another one of those, huh? And for what? The character was so... It was funny, you brought up Derek to me. Because last time Derek and I got together, we started talking about Star Trek. And we were like flipping through Netflix, like looking at the episodes. And we weren't watching them. We were just like flipping through. I'm like, oh yeah, that episode. Oh yeah, that episode. And we kept just going, ugh, that one's a Geordi episode. I hate that one. Or, ugh, that's a Crusher episode. I hate that one. Oh, that's a this episode. That's a that episode, And Eva was like, what did you guys like about this show? And you're like, sure, what I liked about this show. All we're doing is complaining about everything. Another holodeck episode? Another episode where Data goes haywire? Like, why do they even still have a holodeck and Data? Seems like wildly irresponsible of the Federation to continue to allow these holodecks on these battleships. And this android that just malfunctions a lot. Like, if Picard just had, like, manic depressive episodes and just kind of did as much damage to the starship as Data regularly does, they wouldn't, like, leave him in command. They'd be like, Picard, it's time to go. You just like those episodes because they got rehashed and exposed on Voyager. No. I just liked them on their own in TNG. Don't worry. But oh yeah, don't get me started on Voyager holodeck episodes. My favorite part of the holodeck on Voyager is when Janeway keeps modifying her boyfriend and then doesn't like him anymore. I thought that was cute. She modded him until he was too accommodating. But oh gosh, every time they went to that place, it was like called Stars Hollow or something. No, that's the name of the place in Gilmore Girls. What was the name of that place? Safe Haven or something. It had some dorky name. And it was like a little Irish town. And you could tell that just like somewhere else on the Paramount lot, they were filming something else with that set. And so they're like, let's just throw it in Voyager. That's the Star Trek way. Just whatever other sets and props are lying around. We got a bunch of cowboy hats left over from this cowboy movie we made. Let's make a cowboy Star Trek episode. A fistful of Worfs. Here we go. We haven't battled any of these monsters because this is our first B-class battle. So this is interesting. So none of them are going to run away. We're going to have to fight every one of them because I haven't scared any of them off yet. I'm surprised you knew that much. Derek and David were chilling at Mom and Dad's, and there was this book of 1,000,000 Star Trek questions. I think Derek got one right. David knew every answer to every random question. I thought David was playing D&D. I thought David playing D&D was as nerdy as he could get, but there were levels of nerditude I cannot fathom. David and I used to play the Star Trek, the trading card game with each other, Timmy. We used to stay up on Saturday nights and watch episodes of original Star Trek. I know, yeah, that's... I think the same thing, fool. I'm like, wasn't like everything coming up Star Trek, like... Was that the problem with Voyager? Was that they were all like, we can't do anything wrong because everyone loves Star Trek? Did Voyager kill Star Trek with its laziness? David's always just been amazing at trivia. You ever played Disney trivia with him? He will crush you. He's really super good at trivia. So how do you feel about Enterprise? Oh yeah, no, I agree. I mean, like, I'm not saying don't make any more Star Trek, but like for me personally, Star Trek kind of died with Roddenberry, because you can see the like right after he died, there was like some of the best episodes came out after that, but then yeah, season 6 and 7 of TNG, then they were just throwing everything at the wall, and you're just like, oh, this episode shouldn't exist. The problem isn't that this episode, you know, was miswritten. It's that it shouldn't exist at all. Like that Tower of Terror episode they did. It's like, this is just the creators and the actors like goofing around and having fun. They're not even making a show that they care about being enjoyed anymore, or care about carrying that original message anymore. They're just entertaining themselves and recording it. Well, that's kind of not quite it, though. He was effectively out of influence after season 1 of TNG. Is that true? Yeah. Coincident? Maybe I've just made all that up in my head then. But yeah, like, TNG peaks at, like, Darmok, you know? For me. And then after that, like, I'll finish it out. But, like, I know when I hit Darmok, I'm like, it's downhill from here. Although one of my favorite lines in the show is actually from that Tower of Terror episode, when Worf is delivering Kamiko's baby, and she's like, have you ever done this before? And he's like, all Starfleet officers have to, you know, go through a delivery. Starfleet Academy, and he says that birth was much more orderly. He was still around, but episodes like Best of Both Worlds would never have been made with Roddenberry. Best of Both Worlds, I know it's like a popular one, not really one of my favorites. I never really super liked Best of Both Worlds. I always liked the Borg. I always thought the Borg was a cool, fascinating, creepy enemy. But like specifically the Best of Both Worlds episodes, I was never super into it. I don't like the oh no, we'll never get him back. Okay, we got him back. I'm not really as into that stuff. If they're gonna be gone, they gotta be gone forever. Don't put them in false peril, and then just give them back to me. Oh no, this one's gonna be in Fury mode. Ouch. And yeah, I could see that too, because like, Roddenberry's Star Trek is not a Best of Both Worlds Star Trek. In fact, I'd be surprised if Roddenberry was the driving force behind the Borg. Like, got me into Fury mode and I cooked you back. That's, yeah, well, see, I was a little young to be, I didn't watch Best of Both Worlds like live on television, so that's fair. Okay, so with the meta experiencer, that's actually a little more exciting. I mean, I was 4 years old when Star Trek TNG started airing. And I didn't start watching it really until like I was 10, maybe. And by then, you know, I mean, it was mostly over. So what I was watching were reruns, and, you know, my friend's uncle had collections on VHS. Like, he bought the Star Trek series on VHS. So we'd pop those in like random order. It wasn't until Netflix. Like, one of the first, when we got our Netflix account, I was like, I'm going to watch TNG. And I watched all the seasons of TNG in a row. So I did not have to wait but like 3 days for my next DVD to come to finish out Best of Both Worlds. So I guess that probably did put a damper on the experience. I mean, I don't hate it or anything. It just, yeah, I didn't get the full mind-blowing effect. That's for sure. It's funny sometimes, like, to see how media still hasn't quite caught up to the realization that, yeah, that it's all streaming. Because, you know, you go to watch your next episode of SG1, and it's like, last week on SG1, I'm like, I know. It was 2 minutes ago. You know it was 2 minutes ago. Stop showing me this. Get wrecked. And back then, you could just spread rumors, and who was going to stop them? There was no internet. You know what the little guy said to me today, the 8-year-old? I was like, look at this. We were at the retro video game store today. It's next door to where he goes to therapy. 7 seconds ago, on this show. I picked up a Prima strategy guide, and I showed him. I was like, this is how we beat video games before the internet. And he said, you had games before the internet? And I was like, yes, we had games before the internet. And all the other people in the store are like chuckling. And he's like, oh yeah, you had like board games? I'm like, dude, we had video games before the internet. And he's just like mind blown, like, what? How did you have those? I'm like, dude, bro, come on. Ow, that hurt a lot. Don't do that to me. I don't like it. How did you have video games before the internet? Get away from me. Oh, I actually lost a fight. Sorry to interrupt the Star Trek, but how many monsters are there, and what is your next monster going to be? So I'm actually trying to beat the game right now with one monster. So this is it. We're going to beat the game. I mean, unless I'm still probably going to win this contest. I only lost one fight, unless that guy was flawless. Yeah, I won. So it doesn't matter. I do have a loss now on my record. But after I beat the game with this guy, I'm going to get every monster. I'm going to collect them all. That's the true childhood dream right there. In fact, I may have even beaten this game as a kid, but I never had all the monsters. So we're going to do that. Like this 50-page FAQ of all the Mortal Kombat moves and secrets that I printed. Rip trees. I couldn't afford the printer at the college. I would go to the college with my composition book, pull up the walkthrough for Pool of Radiance, and write it out. Like, copy it word for word into my composition book. Rip my pencils and my carpal tunnels. I would have chucked that kid out of the window. I think there's like 120 something monsters total. I will find out together, Timmy. Right here on https:/twitch.tv/MickeyDadRad. All right, we're ranking up again. It was a little close that time. We lost the fight. That was our first fight. We're gonna be honest. I programmed the entire move list into like an 8K personal electronic organizer. I thought it was so cool. Oh, did you have one of those, what was it? Palm Spring? Or was it? It was Palm Spring, right? That had little PDAs with little touch screens. I used to draw little cartoons on my friends. My friends each had one of those PDAs. And they're like, look, it's got the whole Bible in it. I'm like, I don't care about the Bible. Oh, it's his 3rd birthday. I want to draw little cartoons of stick figures killing each other. Something even earlier than that. Whoa. You're such an old nerd, Foo. Just a whole tiny little keyboard. Oh yeah, this was the one that had the little, you could like make those weird little shapes and then it would translate into letters. So but you had to write all the letters in that one little spot, and like a T was like a 7. Stuff like that. I forgot. Wow. It's been a long time since I thought about those things. When I learned sign language, a lot of the deaf and hard of hearing people I knew had little pagers like that had little keyboards in them, and they would send emails. They weren't quite cell phones, and they weren't quite beepers. They were little email pagers. Okay, so what do? We got up to rank A. So all that's left to do is get our intelligence and skill up to up to 600. So a couple more trainings, then we can go to rank S, and then just beat the game from there. Once we beat the game, then we can collect all the monsters. What's today? Today's Tuesday, right? I'm out of my mind. Okay, today's Tuesday, so we'll be back on Thursday with more Final Fantasy IV. I think we're about to go underground. We just got the magma key. We would have gotten further last time, but somebody went and redeemed Mario 64. Hey, thanks for hanging out, Foo and Spiffy. Thanks for stopping by. Always enjoy having everybody. Yeah, Melissa, time flies when you're playing a different game. I hope you're enjoying your new game. And thanks for the raids, Dork, GDP, and Tahinath. A lot of raiders today. Awesome times. Alright, let's go raid Ness Cardinale. I haven't raided Ness Cardinale in fairness. Let's go watch him. It's just the chillest stream on Twitch right here. It's like a battle between Ness Cardinality and Yellsrick to be the chillest stream on Twitch. Oh, I do want to see Melissa. I'm probably going to go make myself another tea because I've been chatting myself and singing myself dry tonight. So, give Ness Cardinality the Mickey Dad raid for me, and I'll see you all on Thursday, hopefully. This is what happens when you get me talking about Star Trek. Need a special extra tea just for Star Trek chat. Good night, everybody.